everyone, Dave here, Fit and Healthy Forever. About a week ago I put a video out on exercise technique for arms. And one or two people have asked me, when I put that out, why didn't I put a routine out for arms? So I will do that in future, but for now I'm going to do the routine for arms, so this will be attached to that one from last week. What I wanted to do is show you a few biceps and a few triceps exercises that you can incorporate. But what I would suggest is you do 2 for biceps and 2, possibly 3 for triceps. And you only need to do probably 2 working sets after warm-ups. So I'm going to show you the exercises now, and you choose the ones, and you can mix and match them over the weeks. There's plenty more to come if you need them, but I'll start with these 4 first for biceps. So what I'm going to start with, as I said to you before, every exercise you do is stretch and squeeze. So whichever muscle you're working, you're stretching it, then you're squeezing it. So I'm going to start, if you want the peak of your bicep to look larger, to work that you need to work the long head of the bicep. So that's any exercise where your arms are behind your body to start with. Okay, so this is the first exercise to work the long head of the bicep to make the peak bigger. So what you would do is lie on an incline bench with the dumbbells hanging there, not quite locked out, and from there we're curling up, only the forearms and hands are moving, and then lower down. As I suggested before, it's 1 to 2 seconds up, 3 to 4 seconds down. Okay, not to complete hang, because if it's hanging like that you can just hold that. You need to keep the tension on it. So you go from there to there and back down. 1 to 2 seconds up, 3 to 4 seconds down. Okay, as I said to you earlier, arms start behind your torso, so that operates the long head of the bicep. So that makes your peak look bigger on your bicep when you flex it. Okay, the second exercise that I want to show you is you can do it seated or standing, and it's a dumbbell hammer curl. Now the hammer curl works the brachialis muscle, which is underneath your bicep, so it sort of builds that and pushes your bicep up. It also incorporates a little bit of forearms, but predominantly it's the brachialis muscle. So what we do with that, if you did it seated or standing, it doesn't really matter. Arms by your sides, again not completely hanging straight. From there you're just going up to halfway, back down. So we're 1 to 2 seconds up, 3 to 4 seconds down. 1 to 2 seconds up, 3 to 4 down. Now again, only the forearms and the hands are moving. The upper arms stay still all the time. As soon as you bring them forward, you're incorporating the shoulder. We don't want that. We want to isolate the bicep as much as possible, so it's just forearms and hands moving and down again. Okay, so moving on to the third exercise, which is going to be a cable exercise, and it's what we call a double bicep pose. So I'll show you the exercise now. If I just move round to the double bicep area. Okay, so with this one, most gyms have got a high cable. So if you get the 2 cable handles, get a weight that you're comfortable with. If you were doing a double biceps pose, what you would do literally is you would go like that. So this exercise is mimicking that. So if you hold the 2 handles and you hold them there, again the upper arm doesn't move. So all that's moving is forearms and hands. So you're coming from there and you're coming up to there and then down again. So it's 1 to 2 seconds up, 3 to 4 seconds down. 1 to 2 seconds up, 3 to 4 down. And you'll notice again, everything is stretch and squeeze. That stretches your bicep. That is squeezing your bicep. It's the same with the ones I've just done on the bench. That is stretching your bicep, and that is squeezing your bicep. So every exercise the same, stretch and squeeze. The last one for biceps is a bicep curl using a bar. Now I use what's called an easy bar more often than not because it's easier on the wrists. So what we're doing again is we're standing from there, and again you don't want your arms to be completely locked, so we start from there and we curl up 1 to 2 seconds and then 3 to 4 down. 1 to 2, 3 to 4 down. Okay, and again you're keeping constant tension on it. You can use a narrower grip if you prefer, just hits the bicep from a different angle, so you can just vary the grip that suits you. And with these I would suggest that you work in an 8 to 12 rep range. So what that means is, if you can't do 8 with that particular weight, you need to stay with it until you can. Or if you can only get 3 or 4, then you drop the weight. Once you reach 11 or 12 and you're failing there, you're probably ready to move the weight up. So that's what they call the sweet spot for muscle growth, is 8 to 12. Now 2 sets for somebody who's a beginner to intermediate is enough. It's a very small muscle group, so you don't need lots and lots and lots of volume. If you do 2 working sets after warm-up, that means you're failing in the 8 to 12 rep range, then that should be enough. 2 for biceps, possibly 3 for triceps. We'll cover that in a second. Okay, I hope that's fairly clear. I'm going to move on to triceps now. Okay, so now we're going to move on to triceps. I'm going to show you 4 triceps exercises. One will be overhead, because with the triceps, the biggest size comes from working this meaty part here, which is the long head. So any exercise that's over your head is going to work that meaty part there. So the girls that are looking to tone this back part, and the guys who are looking to just build size in the triceps, this is where you want to be working. So it's exercises that are over your head. So first of all, I'm going to show you a pull down movement. So what we do, we can use a variation of bars, but I'm going to use this easy bar for today. We're going to start by just stabilizing your body, slightly sitting back, and then you start from your arms parallel to the floor. And then what we do is, as I said before, it's stretch and squeeze with everything. So that's in the stretch position for your triceps. So it's 1 to 2 down, squeeze, 3 to 4 seconds up, stretch. 1 to 2 down, squeeze, 3 to 4 up, stretch. Okay, now that's a pull down. You can use that with a rope, you can use it with a straight bar, you can use it with an easy bar. There's variations of bars, it depends what your gym's got. Now the second exercise I want to show you is a bench dip. Now for tricep dips you can use parallel bars in the gym, which are very difficult because a lot of them haven't got assistance with them. So if you're not strong enough to do the dips on your own, then you can start by doing this sort of thing, and you can do this with 2 chairs at home. I'll show you a bit later on in this video how you can do this at home. But basically we get the arms tucked into the sides there because we need the upper arms still. We need the hands tucked into the back side, and then we need just enough room so that when you lengthen to another bench, you'd use 2 benches in the gym for this. So you're slightly forward from this bench and you're going down, stretch, squeeze, stretch, squeeze. So it's 1 to 2 seconds down, 3 to 4 seconds up. Now your elbows need to go out to the back as much as you can with flexibility, not out to the sides there. So you go up, down, up, down. So that's using your whole body weight. Okay, there are advanced ways to make that harder, but we'll go over that another time. This is aimed at people just to get you into the basics, to do the exercise correctly and work the muscle correctly. So the next one I want to show you is an overhead one, which, as I said earlier, works this meaty part here. So I'm going to get a dumbbell, and what we would normally do is stabilise your body. You can put the back up on the bench so that stabilises your body, or if you're comfortable stabilising it yourself, that's okay. We're going to stretch up to the top, You can use your other hand to stabilise your other arm there, or you can just hold yourself and you're coming down till your upper arm is parallel to the floor. Now just be careful the dumbbell doesn't hit the back of your head. And from there, that's the stretch position. Squeeze. Make sure you don't come out to the side. You're going straight up, straight down. The upper arm shouldn't be moving at all. So it's 1 to 2 seconds up, 3 to 4 seconds down. 1 to 2 seconds up, 3 to 4 down. And again, going back to what we said earlier, we're working in an 8 to 12 rep range. So when you can do 12, you need to increase the weight. Don't stand still. If you're not progressing, then you're not getting stronger or more toned or bigger or whatever it is you're looking for. So the last exercise I wanted to show you is what's called a dumbbell kickback. Can also be done with cables. But what you'll do is you'll get the dumbbell again. You'll put one knee on the bench and one arm on the bench, which stabilises you. The leg, the side of the body you're going to work first, that leg will be outstretched at the back, and so you've got a tripod basically. So your leg's stable, your knee's stable, your hand's stable. We're going to get the dumbbell, arm tucked into the side, and from there we're going to go back, squeeze, lower. So it's squeeze, stretch, squeeze, stretch. It's again 1 to 2, 3 to 4 seconds. So those are the 4 exercises I wanted to show you. I'll show you variations of 1 or 2 of those that you can do at home a bit later on in this video. So again, work your 8 to 12 rep range. Be honest with yourself. When you can actually do 11 or 12 reasonably comfortable, it's not at the end of your strength, then you need to be moving the weight up. You must always look to increase the weight within your strength zone and your rep range. Okay, so now we're going to look to try and show you some exercises at home using little or no equipment, and I'll just get ready to do that and then I'll show you that. Okay, so now I'm going to try and create some exercises that you can do at home if you've got little or no equipment. This is for people who are very much beginners, don't want to go to a gym or can't get to a gym for whatever reason. Biceps is you've got to be creative. So what I'm going to use is, I'm going to use a bath towel or a bath sheet, okay, rolled up like this. And then if you lean against something, a wall preferably, to stabilise your body, you're going to put your foot in there. And the 2 ways you can do this is you can curl like that and use your foot as your own resistance. So you can make it as hard or as easy as you want. The other way is you can just come round like that and then you can curl up so you can go a little bit higher that way if you're flexible enough to do it. Okay, now again, make it hard for yourself. Don't make it too easy. You can push your foot down and make it really hard and resist when you're coming up. So resist with your foot because you're leaning back and you're stabilised. So you should see your biceps work. So from there, squeeze, stretch, squeeze. Okay. The next one I wanted to show you, if you go into somewhere like Aldi, you can get these like TheraBands for next to nothing. I paid £3.99 for these. Okay, you can get a couple of sets of them. And if you stand on them there, and from there you're just curling up. Okay, so again, there's very little resistance on them. These are for beginners that are looking to sort of start at home and do a few exercises before they go to a gym, so that at least when they get in the gym they know what they're doing. Then you can move on after that and you can use some of these more advanced bands. These are a little bit more expensive, but you can buy these and keep them at home for times when you can't get to the gym. So again, if you want to stand, you can use one or both hands with these. These are a bit more resistance on them, so you're coming up, down, up, down. So it's all stretch and squeeze, okay? Now with these, there's different levels. The thicker they are, the more resistance. So this is one of the very, very easier ones. Then they move up to another colour which is a little bit more resistance, then another colour, and so on. There's 4 or 5 different levels. You'll only need these to start with, okay? They're a few pounds, they're probably £15 a pair, but they will last you forever. They're so thick and durable, they'll last you forever. Okay, that's an example of biceps. I'll move on to triceps now. Okay, so lastly we're going to show you 3 triceps exercises that you can do at home. And 2 of them don't need any equipment at all. And the last one I'll be using the bands as I did earlier. So first of all, if you get a chair at home, if you're very inexperienced, this is where you start. So you've got your chair, similar to what I showed you earlier. We tuck our hands right into the side of your bum there, elbows facing back. Keep your feet quite close to your body, just enough room so that you can go from there and you're going down. Now that's the supportive way. It's very easy because you're supporting yourself with your legs. If that's too easy, you can move your legs out a little bit further to there, or less than there if you like, and then you can do it that way. Now make sure your elbows go out to the back. You don't want them going out to the side there. You want them going to the back and then push. If you find that one too easy, or you progress from there, then you do what I showed you earlier and you lift it onto another chair. So you'd have your arms on a chair and then your heels on a chair. Okay? Now, all these again work in the 8 to 12 rep range. This next one I'm going to show you is the supportive way is very easy. As you progress with this, it's very, very difficult. So make sure you use the progression properly. Again, 8 to 12 reps. So we start hands and forearms flat and close into your body, just under your face there. Bring your knees up because this is going to support you. And what you're doing is, that's in a stretch position for your triceps. So from there you're pushing up and squeeze, down, squeeze, down. To make it a bit more difficult, take your knees further out, okay, to there. So you start there, you've got your knees further out, and then you're pushing up and down, up and down. And the very difficult is you're going right out to there and you're pushing up and down, up and down. That's using your whole body weight, and that is very, very difficult to try to get 8 to 12 of those. But if you start with the other 2 and then progress on, it'll take you some time, but these are things you can do at home, so that if you've got aspirations of going to a gym later, then you're not going to feel out of place because you'll know what you're doing. Okay, it gives you an idea of how to work the muscle, what sort of rep range to work in, and then later on I'll cover some other exercises. If you want the other exercises, just leave me a message, inbox me, and I'll go through some others. I've got loads and loads of exercises, mainly for doing in gyms. It's difficult to find them to do at home with no equipment. So if you can get a little bit of equipment, like these bands, they're very useful and you can do most things at home. So I'll just move on to the last exercise now, which is with one of the bands again. Okay, so last exercise that you can do at home using a low resistance TheraBand. So get yourself some of these TheraBands. If you stand on them and you get your hand underneath and you lift, so you're going to there, and like similar to we did with the dumbbell, you're going down and up. But what you're doing is keeping your upper arm still. Down, up, down, up. So you're getting the stretch and the squeeze. Get the low resistance bands to start with, because it's very difficult if you get the bands that are too thick and the resistance is too great for you. So you can buy these TheraBands in rolls and just rip them off in pieces. They're not expensive to buy. It gives you a good start at home because there's lots of exercises you can do with them. And as I say, if you then want to progress to a gym, at least you'll know what you're doing when you get in the gym. The last thing you want is for somebody coming and showing you who's not qualified and doesn't know what they're doing. Generally in gyms these days, people who are qualified normally charge their personal trainers. So this will give you a basic understanding of the rep range, the proper way to do it, the stretch, the squeeze, the rep range out. So that covers it all. So thanks for listening. Until the next video, stay fit and healthy forever. And as always, like, subscribe, and leave me any comments that you feel necessary. Okay, thanks again. Bye.